Assassin's Creed Black Flag is one of the best games in the AC franchise. As you know, there has been reports about a Black Flag remake in the works, with no official release date in sight. But what if I told you the AC Black Flag remake could be happening sooner than you think? Well, lucky for you, we just got some great news from a recent insider report that reveals some exciting details. So today we are going to dive back into the age of the pirates and discuss the latest news and everything we know about the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. We have a lot to cover, so check the video chapters for easy viewing, and let's dive in. So this news is coming straight from Insider Gaming, where they recently posted a brand new exclusive report that claims the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake is closer than you think. They continued in the article saying, "We first got wind of an Assassin's Creed remake earlier this year, and information sent to Insider Gaming suggests that the game could be coming sooner than you think." They continued on by saying, "When rumors of the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake began to circulate on the internet, many, including ourselves, assumed that the game would still be some years away from releasing. However, new details and documentation on the game sent to Insider Gaming under the condition that it does not go public suggests that the game is well into the development. In fact, prior to the recent Assassin's Creed Shadows delay, which is understood to have affected the Assassin's Creed pipeline of content releases, the AC Black Flag remake, codenamed Obsidian, was set to be released around November of 2025, which would be around the same time that the series' multiplayer offering, codenamed Invictus, is set to be released as well." The report then goes on to say that we understand that this is a part of Ubisoft's ramp-up strategy for the Assassin's Creed series, which will see around 10 Assassin's Creed titles of various lengths and experiences released in the next 5 years. Which, that right there sounds absolutely wild to me. Like, think about it. This is 10 games we're talking about. That is no small feat, but I'll talk more about what this means about the future in just a bit though. Now, the 10 games also includes games like Assassin's Creed codenamed Jade, which is the mobile experience with a tentative release date of around Q2 of 2025. Insider Gaming then said, "Unfortunately though, the recent Assassin's Creed Shadows delay," to which Mark Alex Cote said to staff in an internal email, will, quote, "impact the rest of the Assassin's Creed roadmap. So the delay of AC Shadows will certainly push the development of other projects back." The Insider Gaming report then ended with quite the bombshell. They said, "Gameplay was sent to Insider Gaming of the Black Flag remake under the condition that the gameplay footage does not go public, and it shows the one and only Edward Kenway sailing a ship on the upgraded Anvil Engine." Let's be real here. A remake of Assassin's Creed Black Flag shouldn't take nearly as much time, especially considering the previous rumor that states that it's being developed by Ubisoft Singapore, who, as we know, was the same developer behind Skull and Bones. Now, according to a previous rumor, the Black Flag remake may have been in development since September of 2023. Various members of Ubisoft Singapore are, according to their LinkedIn profiles, are either working on an unannounced project or an unannounced Assassin's Creed game. One of the employees has previously worked on Skull and Bones, along with a project coordinator, a lead artist, and a lead cinematic designer. So it certainly seems like Ubisoft Singapore's next project after Skull and Bones is indeed a remake of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which I guess after the financial disaster of Skull and Bones, they kind of need a guaranteed hit almost. Which I'm not saying this game is going to be a guaranteed hit, obviously, with the current reputation that Ubisoft is kind of under right now. Let's just say there's a lot of trust issues with Ubisoft at the moment. But if they stick to making it as good as the original and not with modern audiences in mind, I could totally see it selling well. Not to mention it'll likely be on Steam with the rest of the Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft game lineup, which is also a big W. Now, if Ubisoft doesn't get sold, the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake could be the turning point that Ubisoft needs to separate themselves from the agenda-driven perception that the company currently has. I think we all just kind of miss the old school Assassin's Creed experiences, and seeing just all of the conversation online has just been a really exhausting time. And I just want to get back to the games, and I think you guys can all agree with that as well. Like, we just want to play games, we want to talk about games, and we want to judge them based on the writing, the storytelling, the combat, the gameplay, and not all of that other noise. Now, when it comes to the remake itself, as we learned from the Insider Gaming report, AC Black Flag will be rebuilt utilizing the new Anvil Engine, which I believe is the same engine that's currently being used for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's actively being developed on, which I think from a graphical standpoint, AC Black Flag's remake should look pretty amazing. And if we take the world, the water physics, the ship design, all from Skull and Bones, I have no doubt in my mind that the game is going to look great. However, my main concern is the movement in the traversal, which I don't know if you've played Skull and Bones before, but the third-person gameplay is absolutely awful, which I can kind of give them a pass for since it's not really meant to be a third-person game. It's primarily just a ship game where you're on your ship and your homies are on their ships and you're just on your own little islands and your own little ships, and that's about it. But regardless, they have to make sure that the movement, mainly the parkour, is good. I'm not saying that it's got to be as like good as Unity, although that definitely should be the standard in my opinion. At the bare minimum, and I'm saying like the very least, it should be a one-to-one recreation of the parkour in Black Flag, although I do hope they make some improvements to make the gameplay overall smoother. Now, I would argue that the Assassin's Creed Black Flag parkour is a smoother experience than some of the older games. I also love the variety of parkour that you could get out of Black Flag. The range of environmental elements that you could parkour through is still a highlight till this day. Now, one thing that I think we can all agree hasn't aged well with Assassin's Creed Black Flag are the loading screens. For the remake, they need to make sure that they limit or totally remove the loading screens entirely. Allowing players to sail into cities, walking into shops without having to load would be really ideal. But in terms of the modernization that they would do, like in terms of performance and like loading stuff, I'm kind of expecting all that stuff to happen regardless. But along with the graphical improvements, more customization options for the character, the weapons, the ship customization, better crew dynamics, and more weapon variety would be a really cool addition. Now, some other minor changes that I like to see are faster walking speed, as well as changes to some of the missions. Yes, I'm talking about the tailing missions. Let's be honest, we all are thinking about it. The tailing missions in this game are some of the worst ever, and I just don't want Black Flag to have as many as they had in the main game. Like, honestly, I played Black Flag recently, and it feels like if I'm not tailing somebody on the land, then I'm tailing them on the ship, and if I'm on a ship, then I'm usually getting ready to go to land so I can tail somebody. Like, come on, bro. Like, that mission where you're tailing somebody through the small waterway is literally the bane of my existence. Like, yeah, I'm supposed to be an assassin, but I don't know if I could do another tailing mission. It's my biggest issue with Black Flag. They force you into stealth when there really isn't that much stealth movement. Yeah, no. Yeah, they just need to get rid of them. Even if they made the stealth movement the best that AC has ever seen, you're still probably not going to get me to do another tailing mission. Like, okay, maybe I will, but still, come on, guys. If I have to walk behind another jackdaw and hear that music one more time, man, I'm telling you. Okay, let me tone it down a little bit. It's not that serious. It's just a tailing mission. Let's talk about the Assassin's Creed Black Flag open world. When it comes to the game world for Assassin's Creed Black Flag, assuming we're talking about them doing a remake rather than just a remaster, which hasn't really been fully confirmed yet. Obviously, we haven't had the full reveal, so we're not going to know that until they actually tell us, but it seems that Ubisoft Singapore has planned on rebuilding the game from scratch, using that new Anvil Engine, which we learned about from the insider report. If this holds true, it could dramatically change the game world. So let's say a remake is indeed on the table. One likely enhancement that we could expect is a major expansion of the game's world. If you haven't played Assassin's Creed Black Flag in a while, to refresh your memory, the game world is roughly 14.6 square miles, which for the time was a pretty sizable map. Compared to a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's about 38 square miles. So them expanding the game world to be around 20, maybe 25 square miles would be a great sense of scale, especially for the game's ocean. So you're not really feeling like you're constantly right next to another island. This, of course, would also allow for new content opportunities. One thing that I've appreciated about games being remade is when the developer goes the extra mile to keep the experience similar, but also add stuff on top of that to help that sense of discovery. Now, this can become a slippery slope, obviously, which is why I think it's important to iron out the core gameplay and the experience first, and then once that's up to standards, you add new content on top of that to improve the overall experience rather than hindering it. I really hope Ubisoft Singapore has learned their lesson with Skull and Bones. When that game dropped, I think we all just kind of wanted to be a pirate and play with our friends. Black Flag is a good opportunity to give us that pirate experience without all of the extra stuff like the MMO style gameplay and questing. I really wish Skull and Bones was a good game, or I guess just a completely different game. I think whenever we saw the trailer, we were like, yo, this could be Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Sea of Thieves combined. But instead they're like, yeah, we're gonna take the only part of Assassin's Creed Black Flag and then build the entirety of the game around that. It's like, no, that's not what we wanted. We wanted the Assassin's Creed vibe with the ship stuff with friends on the same boat, but I could complain about that for years. Either way, I do think Ubisoft Singapore is going to do a good job in terms of the game world. If you look at what they did with Skull and Bones in terms of like just the islands themselves, I think they did a good job. Like the ships as well were also pretty awesome. I mean, we know what Ubisoft Singapore is capable of. They've been a part of a lot of Assassin's Creed games like Black Flag, AC Unity, Rogue, Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. I mean, AC2, AC Revelations, AC3. We know that this team has what it takes to develop a good game. So the fact that this is just a remake, they already have the source material, they know what they need to do with Black Flag. All they got to do is just build upon it. I think they're going to crush it. And honestly, I don't think they can afford to not crush it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. But either way, let me know what your thoughts are on Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remake in the works. Do you want the tailing missions to return? Do you love tailing the jackdaws? Let me know in the comment section. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe with your notifications turned on. And until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.